Hello dear UPSC aspirants, I am Akriti Kanchi, your mentor from Prep-IAS, and I'm trying to help you read the newspaper in UPSC relevant manner. A lot of you requested several times that ma'am please provide the highlighted PDF. We have started providing from 1st April onwards on our Telegram channel the highlighted PDF along with the syllabus mentioned and other extra information written in the article itself. Okay, so please click on the Telegram link that is given in the description of this video. Okay, so let's start with the 3rd April newspaper, and we are ready with the must-read articles of 3rd April newspaper. It has a lot of prelims related facts and also very important mains and essay related content that will surely help you in this year or next year exams and even in forthcoming years. So let's start with 3rd April. One article where a conclusion has not come, but quite a direction that Supreme Court is giving in is around anti-defection cases of where speaker has a quasi-judicial power, right? So speaker cannot be indecisive on plays over defection, right? Says Supreme Court. This comes under which part of UPSC syllabus? GS paper 2, Indian Constitution, its features. If you go to the 10th schedule of the Indian Constitution, it is about anti-defection, okay, brought by 52nd Amendment Act. Okay, so Supreme Court, in that, speaker has to decide whether the respective MPs or MLAs have defected and have and there should be certain action to be taken against them, right? So the Supreme Court said it was not Supreme Court is not powerless if speaker chose to remain indecisive on petitions seeking disqualification of legislators who defect. So what has happened several times that speakers do not take decisions only in these things based on their biased political interest, right? That's why I had given example of England also, where in UK, where speaker after they hold the position of speaker have to leave the active politics so that the decisions taken during the constitutional post of speaker is unbiased and not in favor of any party, right? So that is what is missing in our country, right? So Justice B.R. Gawai said a speaker could not use his indecision to defeat the worthy objective of 10th schedule of the Constitution. So for example, if a decision has to be taken, they cannot just leave, they cannot just not take the decision for the entire 5 years of their period for which they are speaker, right? So whether constitutional courts cannot direct speakers who act as quasi-judicial tribunals in this case, under the anti-defection law to decide petitions filed with them under the 10th schedule within a specified period. So the Supreme Court is talking about it, whether they have power. They will not interfere in their decision, but they do have the power to direct the Supreme Court to take the decision within a prescribed period of time, right? So why? Because Supreme Court has the duty as a guardian of the Constitution, and 10th schedule is part of the Constitution. So it has to take care whether the features given in or the provisions of the Constitution are being followed or not, right? But the other side is saying that constitutional courts could request a speaker from one constitutional body to another to decide disqualification petitions expeditiously, fast, okay, but not bind the speaker to a deadline of 4 or 6 weeks. This is being said by the advocate, okay. So decision is yet to come here, and I think Supreme Court will take a direction more in binding time kind of thing. Let's move to the next article directly to the editorial page. Also, okay, first look at this beautiful picture. Now whatever visuals you're getting in UPSC, it's not just about your 8, 10 standard books that you will read in UPSC that will help you qualify exam. It will also the other information that will help you in qualifying exam, right? So you can see this tree, which is jacaranda tree. So it might come in prelims where this jacaranda tree is found. Maybe they'll give a place as in front of it, and they will say whether it's true or false, right? So jacaranda tree is there in the Nilgiris district of Tamil Nadu. So it is found in Nilgiris and Western Ghat region. So you can, if this point is given, it is right. Okay, let's move to the next article. Yeah, again I have taken this article also more from prelims point of view. The ring of fire around Iran is tightening. So this article is talking more about US and Israel's fight with Iran and its related organizations, right? So this comes under prelims. I have taken this under prelims information and also GS paper 2, where politics of developed country indirectly can affect India's interest. Okay, so Donald Trump recently had sent a letter to Iran's supreme leader, right, seeking to negotiate a deal on Tehran's, or that is Iran's, nuclear program. They want to stop the nuclear program of Iran. They think Iran, if Iran gets such a nuclear power, it will be not safe for the peace of world, that is US and those countries stands. So here some organizations are mentioned. It can come in prelims. For example, Houthis as organization which is supported by Iran is working from which country? It's working from Yemen. Houthis are working from Yemen. Hamas are working from Gaza. That most of you guys are knowing, but still I am telling you, if some beginners are not knowing, if even some mature aspirants sometimes overlook some things. Okay, so Hamas from Gaza, Houthis from Yemen, Hezbollah from Lebanon, and these organizations are supported by Iran. Okay, they are non-state ally of Iran, right? So what happened? For America's elites, Iran's nuclear program has always been a problem. Okay, and unresolved. So in 2015, during Barack Obama regime, right, this agreement was brought, Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, JCPOA, right, which curtailed Iran's path to nuclear bomb, but allowed it to allowed Iran's nuclear program for processing capabilities, extensive ballistic missile program, right? For such things it was allowed, but not for the nuclear bomb. But even that was not well digested by Mr. Trump. So Mr. Trump, who first took office in 2017, unilaterally they pulled US from this agreement, and this agreement was stopped, and they reimposed sanctions on Iran to make Iran weaker, right? So both, since Israel does not like the Hamas and Palestinian presence in its territory, and there's a lot of conflicts, and Iran supports Hamas, so that's why Israel has problem with Iran also. So Israel and US combined are having problem with Iran, right? So Mr. Trump, who first took office in 2017, in May 2018, he unilaterally withdrew the US from agreement and reimposed sanctions on Iran, effectively sabotaging the agreement. So this question has come in prelims, that JCPOA is related to which two countries? So the answer was US and Iran, right? So you should know these basic things, okay? So, but Mr. Trump's maximum pressure campaign with Israel's covert operation inside Iran has not brought the right result, right? So all these are the issue, and one very intelligent thing, that even if US and Israel are trying to attack Iran's nuclear facility, it is not easy, because they are buried underground and some of them are beneath the mountains. Okay, so even a joint US-Israeli operation may fail to eliminate them completely, right? So these are certain issues, and these are some information you should have as a UPSC aspirant. Let's move to the next article. Now this article very important from both prelims and mains point of view. Digital child abuse, the danger of AI-based exploitation. So AI, right now, recently, India also held a conference with France, which led to AI. Before that, also there was this was a third conference, okay, on AI safety conference. It was a conference on AI safety, right? So this comes under GS paper 2, welfare schemes for vulnerable section, which are children, highly vulnerable population by center and states. Okay, so what is happening here? AI is having a lot of issues, right? AI is able to create a lot of material which is not good for children, right? So Department of Science and Innovation and Technology of British government, along with the AI Security Institute, AI Safety Institute, has brought first ever international AI safety report 2025, okay, and it flags imminent risk of this generation, the possession and the dissemination of child sexual abuse material. This is called CSAM, child sexual abuse material, CSAM. Okay, so with the help of artificial intelligence tools, all this can be made. Okay, so United Kingdom is making the first legislative attempt, is bringing the law to target the threats posed by AI tools that can generate CSAM. Okay, World Economic Forum in 2023 report also said how generative AI can create lifelike images, especially of children. Very, very bad for their mental health. Okay, and moreover, the Internet Watch Foundation is also talking about proliferation of child sexual abuse material on the open web. The editors are saying that Government of India should also amend the existing law to address the emerging threats and ensure long-term effectiveness. Okay, so this British and UK's initiative marks a progressive shift from an accused-centric and an act-centric laws to tool-centric approach in dealing with this abhorrent crimes. Okay, so this is a good example that India should learn from, and you can also mention in your answers related to such issues. It can come in GS paper 1 also under society, where there the issue of AI for children. What are the effects of AI on children? Such questions do come. Social media's effects on children has come several times. Okay, so according to National Crime Records Bureau report 2022, cyber crimes against children have substantially increased. National Cyber Crime Reporting Portal NCRP, under the aegis of Cyber Crime Prevention Against Women and Children CCPWC scheme, recorded 1.94 lakh child pornography incidents. Okay, so there are huge number of cases coming, right? So which shows the seriousness of this issue, serious threat to a child's right to life and dignity in India. So currently there are some sections of laws which do protect, but that's not sufficient. So what are the current laws that is there? Section 67B of IT Act 2000, section which punishes those who publish or transmit material in electronic form depicting children in sexually explicit acts. So section 67B of IT Act has a provision for it. Section 13, 14 and 15 of POCSO Act, right? Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act 2012 also prohibit using children for pornographic purposes, storing child pornography in any form. Okay, section 294 of Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita and section 295, all these 4 acts, section 67B of IT Act, section 13, 14, 15 of POCSO Act, section 294 of Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita and section 295, all this makes it illegal to do anything, to sell or buy anything obscene related to children, right? But still they are not adequate safeguards for AI related child abuse material that is going to come, right? So there are a lot of recommendations by this committee. So NHRC advisory, National Human Reports Committee advisory in October 2023 said the definition of child pornography under the POCSO Act must be replaced with the phrase child sexual abuse material to make it more expansive. Okay, so NHRC has also given it an advisory. So, and such sexual explicit under section 67B of IT Act must be defined. Definition of intermediary must include virtual private networks, virtual private servers, cloud services, etc. Right? So, Government of India must pursue the adoption of UN Draft Convention on countering the use of information and communication technology for criminal purpose by UN General Assembly. This is an important article related to child pornography. Okay, let's move to the next article. So recently a lot of issue has happened around Myanmar earthquake, and a lot of people have died, and it's a very sad affair, and it shares the plates with Indian plate, right? The way Indian plate and Eurasian plates are getting colliding against each other. It's bringing a lot of issues in and around the boundary of the plates. Okay, so how did the Myanmar earthquake occur? Right, so this comes under GS paper 1, important geophysical phenomena such as earthquakes, the last point in GS paper 1. Okay, so there has been history of earthquakes along the Sagang fault. So this earthquake happened around Sagang fault. Sagang fault is the places where the plates are breaking, there are fractures, right? Named after a town not far from Mandalay, right? So what has happened? It has happened around Bangkok, the capital of neighboring Thailand, classified as a typical ridge trench transform fault. It was a transform fault. Okay, so there are 3 kinds of fault. There is one converging, there is one diverging, and this is transform fault. The Sagang fault system runs 1400 km between the spreading center under the Andaman Sea in the south to eastern Himalayan band in the north. So it is all around the Indian plate, and thankfully it didn't come to India, but it did sadly reach the northern parts. Okay, so historic city of Bagan has been subjected to several damaging earthquakes. Okay, and so there are more information around it here, that South Asia including Myanmar is highly prone to earthquake due to its proximity to the complex assemblage of largest tectonic features, including Himalayas, the Shillong Plateau, the southern Indo-Burman range, and the Andaman-Nicobar subduction zone. Okay, so originating from the collision of where it starts from the collision of Indian and Eurasian plates some 40 million years ago, and then it is leading to several other smaller microplates that are breaking. Okay, in Southeast Asia, it is an active tectonic feature that generated one of the largest earthquakes in history. Okay, let's move to the next article. So we had covered one article on Shivaji yesterday, but there is more content on Shivaji which is very useful from essay and ethics point of view. Okay, the Swaraj of Chhatrapati Shivaji, the wise king's just rule. He is rightly regarded as one of the great influences and inspiration for India's freedom struggle also, and even now. Okay, this comes under GS paper 1 Indian culture, but the quotes and examples of Shivaji can be used in ethics and essay also, right? So the Maratha king's liberal and progressive attitude, he had a very liberal and progressive attitude with regards to various religions, right? It was in contrast with the orthodox view of Aurangzeb. Okay, that's why he is more hailed, right? And Shivaji was not against any religion. Shivaji, Lord Shivaji was stood up to both Hindu orthodoxy and Islamic fundamentalism. He did not even tolerate the orthodox type of Hinduism. He was progressive in all religion. Okay, so he was a proud Hindu. Okay, he has given a lot of gifts to temples, but his pride in his religion does not mean that he had hatred against any religion. He never had hatred against any religion, which is a great example of tolerance, true meaning of religiousness. Okay, so keep this in mind. His pride in his religion does not seem to have been grounded in hatred for other religion. If you are religious, that doesn't mean you have to hate other religion, right? Khafi Khan's Muntakabul Lubab notes Shivaji had made a strict rule that wherever his soldiers went, they were not to harm mosques, Quran or women. Very great thought of him at that point of time. Shivaji's Chief Justice Raghunath Pandit Rao said, Srimant Maharaj has ordained that everybody is free to follow his religion and nobody is allowed to disturb it. Great, right? Amazing thought again. In contrast, Aurangzeb had imposed jizya. You have heard about this movie in movie like Jodha Akbar also, where Akbar removed jizya, but Aurangzeb imposed jizya, a mandatory tax intended for non-Muslims, because a Muslim ruler is guarding the non-Muslims. That's why they take this tax, living under Islamic rule in 1679, which was not good, right? Because the majority of the population was Hindu. Regardless of whether the Hindu agree or not, they had to give this jizya tax. Okay, so Shivaji sent letter also to Aurangzeb talking about it, right? Contending that Hinduism and Islam, while different from each other, are equal creations of God. It's an amazing quote, okay, of Shivaji. You can use it as it is. If you have a good memory power, use the quote. They are different hues used by true divine painter for the blending the colors and filling in the outlines of God's picture of the entire human race. Okay, so he was saying that both are walking towards the same path, that is our divine painter, that is God, right? So use this in the conclusion of essay and ethics. But he also kept sending letters, reminding Aurangzeb that his duty towards his people is more, right? So there is a famous pilgrim, French traveler, Francois Bernier, in his book Travels in the Mughal Empire AD 1656 to 1668. Remember French traveler Francois Bernier. He was there in the time of Shivaji. He testifies to Shivaji's conciliatory attitude towards Catholic clergymen. He was very kind to even Christians also. Okay, so which is also amazing. Though Shivaji died on April 3, 1618, he was born in 1630 February. 50 years of life he had. But during freedom struggle also, lot of our leaders, lot of our freedom fighters have taken inspiration from Shivaji. Mahatma Phule's ballad Chhatrapati Shivaji Raje Bhosle Yancha Povada reflects on Shivaji's opposition both to orthodoxy of Savarna Hindus in this age as well as Islamic fundamentalism. He was against orthodoxy of all types. Okay, the term Swaraj, which was used by Shivaji, was employed by Dadabhai Naroji, Mahatma Gandhi, and used as Swaraj is my birthright. This quote was given by whom? Bal Tilak. Okay, Swaraj is my birthright. And in anti-caste agitation of Mahad Satyagrah, which was led by Ambedkar, right, which took place in Shivaji's erstwhile capital Raigad, witnessed Chhatrapati Shivaji. So even the lower caste were, were praising Chhatrapati Shivaji and wanted his kind of rule for them. Okay, so Dr. Ambedkar has said in book his Who Are the Shudras that how the caste Hindus stopped Shivaji's project from becoming a reality. Shivaji wanted all Hindus to unite, but some fundamentalist or orthodox Hindus became an obstacle in it. Okay, in his statements in the session courts, Bhagat Singh in June 6, 1929 said a new movement which has arisen in the country is inspired by the ideal guided by Guru Gobind Singh, Shivaji, Kamal Pasha, Reza Khan, Washington, Garibaldi, Lafayette and Lenin. So Shivaji was inspiration from all kind of leaders, okay, moderates, extremists and revolutionaries. Okay, let's move to the, there is a small quiz on Shivaji. We'll do it quickly. Right, so on June 11, 1665, this comes under medieval India also and also in the freedom struggle part. Okay, so on June 11, 1665, Shivaji signed a treaty with Jai Singh, who represented Aurangzeb. So what was the treaty's name? It was Treaty of Purandar. Okay, Shivaji's older brother had died as a part of failed rebellion at the hands of Afzal Khan in Bijapur. Okay, so he was Sambhaji. Shivaji's half brother ruled Tanjore on behalf of Shivaji. His name was 𝐷𝐿𝐴. Okay, named the Maharashtrian scholar who retrieved the first painting of Shivaji from the British archives in 1933. He was Vasudev Sitaram Bendre. Okay, what is the name of Shivaji's family deity? They worship Bhavani, which is a form of goddess Parvati. The most interesting thing is this tool which Shivaji used to during wars. Okay, what is this? What is this instrument called? It is tiger claw, called in Hindi Bagh-Nak. Okay, Bagh-Nak. He used it to kill Afzal Khan. Bagh-Nak, this Bagh-Nak earlier was kept at Victoria and Albert Museum in London, but now has been brought in India and is kept at the Satara Museum in Maharashtra. Okay, that much is sufficient for this quiz. Let's move to the next article. So BIMSTEC summit is going to happen. Ahead of BIMSTEC summit in Bangkok, doubts persist over Modi-Yunus meeting. But we should know about BIMSTEC organization. This comes under GS paper 2, regional groupings involving India. So BIMSTEC is the Bay of Bengal initiative for multi-sectoral technical and economic cooperation. It is going to hold its 6th summit. Okay, in a physical format, first time since the end of pandemic. After pandemic, it's happening physically first time. Okay, the last such in person was in physical summit happened in Kathmandu 2018 and 5th one happened virtually in 2022. Okay, this year's theme is prosperous, resilient and open BIMSTEC. So you should know who all are the members of BIMSTEC. So it was formed in 1997 and initially there were only 4 countries. Okay, Bangladesh, India, Thailand and Sri Lanka. Then Myanmar joined it. Okay, so it became BIMSTEC and later on Nepal and Bhutan also joined it. Okay, and headquarters is in Dhaka, Bangladesh. Let's move to the last article of the day. Science page. Yeah, now this article is important from both prelims and mains point of view. It is talking about how the effects of greenhouse gases and aerosols are working at tandem with each other. Okay, so India's critical efforts to tackle air pollution could worsen warming. So what is happening here, I'll tell you in short. This comes under GS paper 3, environmental pollution and degradation. So greenhouse gases lead to warming, okay, because it has the capacity to entrap the long outgoing radiations of heat, and that's why it makes all the greenhouse gases like CO2, methane, they trap the outgoing long waves of solar energy and it makes the earth warmer. What aerosols do in opposite, aerosols, they disperse the heat coming. Okay, so they kind of have a cooling effect. That's what this article is talking about. So when they are trying to reduce the air pollution, when aerosols will not be there, which is good, but it will lead to more warming. So regions that cleaned their air in the late 20th century have experienced a greater increase in warming trends, while more populated urban areas with low human development indices have experienced lower levels of warming due to masking effect of pollution. So pollution has a masking effect. Okay, it does not let the solar radiation come to the earth properly. Okay, that is what is happening. So rapidly reducing aerosol emissions, which are part of air pollution, without reducing greenhouse gas emission could expose a large fraction of world's most vulnerable people to warming. Okay, so you should know about certain facts. Global warming is caused by the buildup of greenhouse gases, as I told you. Global warming is happening because of greenhouse gases like CO2, methane, etc. In the atmosphere. It intensifies temperature and rainfall extremes. Whereas aerosols can counteract the impact of greenhouse gases to some extent. Okay, greenhouse gases trap heat and warm the Earth's surface. Aerosols such as sulfates and nitrates scatter solar radiations, preventing it from reaching the ground and rendering a cooling effect. Okay, it doesn't let the solar energy reach the Earth's surface properly. Okay, aerosols also affect the water cycle. Greenhouse gases are well mixed in the atmosphere, whereas concentration of aerosols varies with respect to location and time. Greenhouse gases are long lived. It's there for centuries once it comes. Aerosols live for few days, okay, to weeks at a time. This kind of difference can come in the statement of prelims. You should know, okay, that greenhouse gases will be there for centuries. Aerosols are short lasting, short timed, okay, and which kind of effect they have. In India, thermal power plants leads to around 70% of India's electricity, but that burning of coal releases greenhouse gas also, but sulfur also. And this sulfate aerosols, which form through the oxidation of sulfur dioxide, are highly reflective. It reflects the solar energy and make a 50-60% of the overall aerosol composition in India. Okay, so that is what Ministry of Earth Sciences has observed, that country's average temperature rose by 0.7 degrees Celsius between 1901 and 2080 due to greenhouse gas induced. So greenhouse gases induced warming, but it was offset. It was balanced by anthropogenic aerosols and changes in land use. Okay, so everything has to be kept in mind. Greenhouse gas induced warming increases the risk of extreme heat. Aerosols, so both are bad. Greenhouse gas is leading to global warming, melting of glaciers. Aerosols causes respiratory ailments, okay, diseases, creating a compounding effect on vulnerable populations. So both are bad, both needs to be reduced. Okay, let's move to the next article. Chandrayaan's chest takes the moon's temperature. Okay, this comes under GS paper 3, Science and Technology, Achievements of Indians in Science and Technology. So as the Vikram lander of Chandrayaan 3 touched down on the moon, okay, a thermal probe tucked snugly in its panels slowly worked itself free and stretched its arm. So this is Chandra's surface thermophysical experiment, called in short CHEST. Okay, the first instrument to measure temperatures in situ near the moon's south pole, and it is reporting that water ice is more prevalent on the moon than expected. Very important, right? So CHEST also became the first mission to successfully penetrate the soil of a celestial body to deploy a thermal probe after 2 previous missions had fallen short. Okay, so it's the first mission. So that's why it is achievement of Indians in science and technology. One last visual that I would like you to see from 3rd April. So this is a lake. Okay, the Dead Sea is the lowest lying lake in the world. So which is the second lowest lying lake? Okay, so it is Sea of Galilee, which is north of Dead Sea. Sea of Galilee is freshwater lake. Dead Sea is a saltwater lake. Sea of Galilee is a freshwater lake in Israel. Okay, and Dead Sea is salt lake, which is surrounded by Jordan in east, West Bank in west, and Israel in the southwest. Okay, so this kind of information you know. And last fact, as the Earth's most recent glacial cycle ended around 11,700 years ago, okay, so they became lighter and started to, so the land masses lost ice and the local sea level is dropping. What is this geological phenomena called? It is Pleistocene epoch. This is important from geography point of view. And that's it for 3rd April. Thank you.